This is a 1 NR redo against the rum IPRF. It's just T in case. Interpretation GO indicates that economic engagement exclusive of refusal embargo violation plan does not mean any increase in economic engagement as standard T debate more prone to vote negative for a mass new area of topic and in-depth arguments. The world of counter-interpretation, they kill fairness and ground, they create an infinite number of AFs that allow the lifting of any portion of any embargo. I can make an AF that lifts the sanitation portion of an embargo, make it impossible to prepare against this, makes debate skew towards AF and prefer a definition. Their interpretation doesn't even define economic engagement. Their definition will only allow AFs that lifts any portion of an embargo, killing any discussion of topic or world debate where we only debate about this for an entire year for would kill education and create steel debates. Our interpretation does not over-limit allows research to the core of all three topic countries, and they have no defense on this flow, which means that any risk of T is a voter is a reason why you should wait like a dissent, go to standards debate. First is limits. We turn limits. They massively explode the topic. They limit the negative. Their affirmative redirects funds from the United States to destroy research of the negative. Negative cannot research the lifting of any portion of our goal. They're just way too many. Limits is the biggest internally in the education. By exploiting the topic, they allow an unpredictable number of asks. They allow and turning affirmatives to have no meaning to actual topic. They exploit the affirmative ground by decreasing the topic to include any form of lifting. This lets them spike off our offense and makes them more generic. Spending this as tiny apps don't allow in-depth and clash and debate. And you should prefer depth over breadth. Learning about specific topics. In-depth is key. Education we access better internally to research. We cannot prep for a topic that's too large or not well defined. That makes the effective argumentation possible because we are spread thin across the theoretical limited number of apps. They destroy the depth of pre-round education. Critical thinking. We force a small number of topics and learn more about it. Our standards. The only standard that allows us to learn in depth about a topic. Different affirmers are never going to be rid of ourselves all their offenses. Also, they lack contestation kills our ability to determine the best policy. This allows them to run topics specific offenses rather than generics that people run every year. And breadth is inevitable. Every year we get a new topic and go line by line. First and foremost, only negative interpretation is key to fairness. Literature accepts lifting portions out of embargo of the topic. They justify two new advantages as a new part of the topic and vagueness. They create vagueness of the rest of the topic by voting after you create a world of the topic where infinite new advantages could possibly be topical, meaning that they create a world of fringe topics that could be read and never be prepared against. The vagueness of the argument means it can be better only going to justify the countless new arguments. And Bradley, we create Bradley of the topic that they lack. We allow affirmatives to trade or exchange with Cuba and resolve the WTO uses not just repealing a small portion of embargo and a topical version of your after just fiat trade agreement through the embargo solves no Cuba apps. We should not practice being lazy. This may get all your offense in clash, but negative you create more clash because people will go more in depth about the topic and create better debates. Critical thinking neg forces after think of better arguments of the topic and start trying to think of the most obscure plan possible and potential abuse. Even if you don't think that they're rid of worst form of the topic, vote because they justify potential abuse. In the context of this round, we are deciding what debate for the year is going to look like. They justify the plan and clearly abuse this topic and go to line by line. First is their we me argument. Economic engagement is defined as direct trade, not a barrier trade. And next is their standards. Their first predictability argument doesn't make any sense because our argument isn't that there aren't many current policies, but that the repeal of any time portion of these policies is abusive. And their second ground argument doesn't make any sense because they never asked us in cross-text for a case list. And three, they say reasonability, but it's not subjective. We clearly laid out that they make debate for the topic harder for the rest of the year. This debate is supposed to be about economic engagement. They allow a plethora of new plans for different impacts. And they say race to the bottom, but it's the race to the topic and race to the bottom. Not true because we set an accurate viewing of a topic that allows more in-depth debates, and it's important for us to find what the topic is defined as right now. By voting negative, you ensure that we limit the topic, and it is a voter. They say you should not vote on potential abuse, but T is a voter for all the impacts to be laid. Our independent reasons to vote it is a minimum affirmative stay within the topic grounds is one of the basic stock issues. By moving out, they've opened themselves to this argument. T is good for the way arguments T are more realistic than talk about nuclear war. They force us to talk about how arguments relate to each other and make debate better as a whole. Go to case. The W2 credit advantage is non-unique. First is agriculture subsidies. This sector is destroyed due to insufficient reforms in the reliance as well as trade and the slowdown reforms. That's the toga evidence. And two is solar subsidies offering projects in solar industry would breach global trade rules and violate the W2 trade-related investment. That's the UP one evidence. And three, the LGM ban. The United States is the decision to restrict the movement of oil demands credibility over a dozen countries that have been affected. That's the Palmer evidence. And fourth is online gambling. The gambling services via internet have compromised W2 intellectual property. That's for retaliation. That's leave it conceded that in the increase in trade turns disease. Global trade would put the world at a greater risk for pathogens as exotic diseases would have that we wouldn't have immunity to would spread throughout the entirety of the world. That's the Science Daily evidence. To go to IPR advantage, they have double turned themselves. Europeans hate GMOs. They believe that they're harmful to the environment and people. They will fight GMOs to the end. The Barnum evidence indicates that genetically modified crops are unpopular with the public, meaning that no one would purchase this new type of food. And two, GMOs will lead to disease due to viruses that would dangerous for human consumption, rendering the food useless and waste even more agriculture space. The Lethan and Wilson evidence indicates that viral infection can spread from plants to humans. This will further lead to a lack of use.